vacation meeting for regular meeting December 10th, 2024. Sorry. Me and this recorder thing. There we go. So this is the meeting for December 10th, 2024. So just to let you know, Miss Ritchie Rowland, is it Rowland with the now?
Cash.
It
But-
is right.
And Roland.
Her last name is
Oh,
Rowland.
yes, correct.
Okay, so she got married. So she's with her son at the BAM concert at RDC. So that's why she is not here. She might be here late, but we don't know for sure.
We'll see.
So we're going to stand and have a moment of silence and then say the Pledge of Allegiance. In the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So the first piece of business is the review of the agenda. Do you all want to add anything or change anything on the agenda? I would like to add, under internal business, just a review of the winter symposium of the KSBA that some of us attended over the weekend, just to talk a little bit about that. Okay, so I just need a motion to adopt the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I need a second.
Oh, second.
Okay, second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. And the next piece of business is consider approval of minutes for the December 12th, 2024 regular board meeting. Do you all have any questions or anything with that? All right. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes from November 12th?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
Okay. All right. And I'll second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Our next piece of, which is the best part of the whole night, is our Clark County Public Schools recognitions. Mrs. Bush.
Thank you. Can you handle it?
I think so. We'll try.
This evening, we want to express our sincere gratitude for one of two incredible organizations that have gone above and beyond to support our Concrete after-school clubs. First, we want to thank the Sunoco Corporation for their unwavering commitment to our community. When faced with a challenge, they stepped up to provide a solution. We want to acknowledge at this time, if Ms. Priscilla would please come up, whose donation under Sunoco allowed us to purchase T-shirts for 7 of our clubs. These T-shirts will foster a sense of belonging and pride among those students. Thank you for your invaluable contribution to our school. Would you all like to?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Our contract friends up here with us. How about that?
I'm gonna give you a hug. Thank you. We appreciate it.
I'm a handshaker and a go cars or, I'll let her hug this time. I can do whatever you want. Like this?
No.
No, too much.
More a little bit like that? Yeah. Okay. You want to get a little closer? All right, here we go. Thank you. Great, thank you.
You're good, Susan.
This is here, but they're going to take it for him, so he's right here. If one of you wonderful ladies would like to come back. Concrete Elementary would like to recognize Mr. Everett Curry. He was the school's winner of the Superintendent's Art Veterans Day Contest, and we want to make sure that he is recognized. And his print will stay out in the foyer for a year. Should be in order in this thing. The Army JROTC National Raiders Challenge is a highly intense competition that tests JROTC candidates' physical fitness and teamwork. The 2024 National Raider Champion is the second annual national championship event that is held at Fort Knox, Kentucky in the month of October. Raider competitions are athletics. They will have a program of outdoor and usually individual strength, push-ups, tire drag, obstacle course, distance team, running events, first aid, and some form of rope bridge construction crossing. So let's think about that physically one more time, because we have the #1 in the state. If you will help me recognize our young ladies. We have Miss Lisa Fish. We have Miss Penelope McIntosh. We have Miss Rory Cooper. We have Miss Jessica Kidd. We have Miss Aaliyah Graham. We have Miss Carrie Conley. Miss Tara Daniels, who is the team captain. Addison Willoughby. McKenna Rozelle. And Miss Valerie Martinez. Did I leave anyone out? And Mr. Larry, if you would like to come up. Larry Lee. I always do that. Larry.
That's ours? Absolutely. All right, let's get up here and I'll get the back some out.
It's fine.
That's it.
Here, I'll move this.
I'm back here.
All right, I'm going up.
State champs on 3. 1, 2, 3. State champs! Sorry.
Can you squeeze it a little bit? Yeah, great. Thank you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
I got too fast to say. I got excited.
This evening, we have the pleasure to introduce a student of Clark County, which is a National Merit Semifinalist. What is a National Merit Semifinalist, you ask? These students represent the top 0.5% of the state's senior students. How does a student become a National Merit Semifinalist? Test takers who score in the top 1% become semifinalists, a significant accomplishment. Each year, the NMSC Awards semifinalist status is around 16,000 high school students throughout the nation. 16,000, and we have one of those, which is awesome. This evening, would you please help me in congratulating and recognizing Mr. Jones Howard as a National Merit Semifinalist.
I am going to hug him. It might be relation a little bit. He doesn't claim it.
Congratulations. Our next recognition will start with 2 adults that have made this possible, and I'll let them explain it. But we need to give the recognition to Ms. Donna Carter and Mr. Kent Kugel, who made this possibility for our students.
Absolutely.
We are so excited to honor our first cohort of our Senior Medical Interpreter Co-op. And these students, first of all, we give them kudos for stepping up and making the commitment to learn the skill of medical interpretation. They stayed after school for 9 days. They toured University of Kentucky Hospital. They shadowed with medical interpreters, professional medical interpreters for a day. And now they've completed the Bridging the Gap Medical Interpreter Program, and they have a language proficiency test that we're going to give them tonight. And they are now, when they graduate high school, qualified to be an entry-level medical interpreter. And I must say to the district and everyone who allowed us to run this program, this is the first program in a high school like this in the nation that we are aware of, and we're very excited to honor these students.
Pues no voy a traducirlo todo, pero estamos muy orgullosos y este es el primer grupo de intérpretes para completar este programa en una escuela secundaria. pues agradecemos a todos sus padres para todo lo que hicieron los niños y el trabajo que hicieron.
We also have awards, but Toyota donated laptops for each of the students to get a laptop tonight, so we're very excited.
Todos van a recibir una computadora. Pues, pásense cuando digo sus nombres. Okay. Noemi García de León. Ian Martinez Perez. Marina Martinez Perez. Jamie Huerta Mata.
Maybe the laptop. We get a group picture, all Miss Carter, Miss Kent.
Right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Right.
Fantastic, great.
So that was wonderful. I'm so excited about that program. So, according to Ms. Bell, we do not have any public comments. So our next agenda item is our student learning and instructional services, our instructional spotlight.
Good evening. Tonight, our instructional spotlight will highlight Concrete Elementary and our gifted and talented services. So at this time, I'm going to ask that Concrete Elementary come on up, and the principal, Megan Swart, will start off the spotlight for us. Yes, ma'am.
I brought with me tonight our assistant principal, Miss Ada Dameron, and also our school counselor, Miss Carrie McGrath. We also have with us tonight Suki, our school therapy dog. She's been with us for 3 years now. And tonight we just wanted to share a little bit about Concrete. So one of the things we wanted to talk to you guys about tonight was our Big Rocks. So for us, when we thought about what Big Rocks we wanted to focus on this year, we had a couple that we've been working on that we really didn't want to give up on. So we kind of called those foundational blocks. And the first one was behavior and social emotional learning for our students. We feel like that's a really big piece at Concrete that we've worked hard on, and so we wanted to continue that. So some of the things that go into that Big Rock do include our Suki friend, because she's part of that SEL, not just for our students, but for our staff. We also do everything with our Colts expectations. So our kids, we say them on the announcements, we reference them in everything that we do. Thank you for caring for others, thank you for offering your best effort. And those are connected, thank you, to our leader tickets. Kids are able to earn leader tickets, and they love those. They can turn them in for prizes and their names read over the announcements every morning. We also have, in our related arts rotation, a social emotional learning teacher, because we feel like it's really important, especially in the younger grades, to teach those skills to communicate our feelings, to control our emotions, to have good relationships with others, all of those things. We do morning meetings every morning to start our day with our kids. And we also incorporate, every 6 weeks we do a Colt celebration. So our kids are earning points for attendance and for their behavior in the cafeteria. And we've connected that kind of with our Big Rock later on about family and community relations. But we've had the GRC basketball teams come in, the volleyball teams come in, Baker's coming in to do a show for us. So we've been able to make some community relationships through that. And of course our kids think the basketball players and the volleyball players are like Olympic players, so they think they're amazing. And then we have PLCs where we talk with teachers about kids that are struggling. We also meet monthly with Miss Allison Nelson and Miss Rebecca Smith, who is our MTSS instructional specialist. extra counselor that we have, to make sure our kids that are struggling, that they have counseling, that they have a peer mentor or a staff mentor, that they're involved in clubs, that we are working on ways to connect with them. So that's our first foundational rock. And then Ms. Daniels is going to talk about our second foundational
Our
rock.
second foundational rock is our cultural rock, and we are all about developing relationships within our building. We have every staff member on a Colts team, so it goes from kindergarten all the way to fourth, related arts, EC, instructional assistants, our cafeteria, everyone is on a team, COLTS, since we're the Colts. And we have challenges, monthly, weekly challenges on announcements. Ms. Fort likes to sing a song, and they earn a special prize if they can finish the song. We try to do just fun things. We survey the staff with Keep, Stop, Start a few times a year just to see what things we should keep doing, things we should stop doing, things we should start doing, new initiatives. We have the announcements, social media. We are pretty active on social media and try to highlight all the great things that are going on in our building. Thanksgiving or throughout the year, really. We have once a month, I've been doing a thing with the staff where to make sure that they're taking care of themselves. They have a bingo card, it's like a self-care, and so we've had pretty good turnout with that. They get to turn that in, and then they get entered in for a drawing for a gift card to Target or Amazon, and so we just try to just love on them and do special treats throughout for our staff.
So those were our two foundational rocks that we felt like we've been working on, that we really didn't want to give up on. And so we kept those, and then we focused in on some building blocks that we felt as a school that we really needed to focus on moving forward. And the first one and our building block was our academics, just our tier 1 instruction. If our tier 1 instruction is doing well, then we're hitting all of our kids, right? So yes, doing tier 2 and tier 3, like small groups and working with kids in smaller settings is great, but we're getting the best bang for our buck when we improve our tier 1. And the things that we wanted to focus on this year was Kagan, OG, and common planning. And we're going to talk about Kagan and OG here in a second, but the common planning is just that we're all doing the same things, right? We're working together and keeping accountability to make sure that we're doing the things that we're supposed to be doing.
Our other building block is our family and community relations, because those are so important. So we have several opportunities for families to come into our building. We're getting ready to have one tomorrow with our Christmas dinner, and so we invite you guys out too if you have a chance to stop by Concrete and eat with us. Another opportunity that I'd like to welcome you to our welcome squad. That's in the mornings. We've had some representation. If you get to open the corridors for the students, we play music. You get a special shirt, and so if you have a chance to try to have one community member, one family member each week out there with us, and it's just a great time. It's great. I love the dismissal and the arrival, and so Sky's been there. Yeah, we've had several people. So if you get a chance to come out, we'd love to have you. We have mentors. We try to assign students with mentors. Like we have some of our related arts people will take our students in the mornings as soon as they get there to, if art is their thing, to kind of pair them up music. The gym teacher takes some students just to kind of support. I have a student, Ms. McGrath has people. We all have students that we just are trying to mentor, just a little something extra to get them in our building. We have our, like she said, representation at our cult celebrations throughout. We have monthly events. What are monthly events? We've just got Christmas concerts,
right
all
now.
kinds right now.
Yeah.
So we have our positive phone calls, which is a really cool thing. We try to have every single student get a positive phone call, and most of them get more than that, one a semester. So we have a spreadsheet we keep up with, and so every student gets a positive phone call from some staff member in the building once a semester, and we're kind of ending up right now our first semester and getting, most of ours have gotten a positive phone call, and then we'll start it again the second semester, so they get 2 a year at least, more than that usually. And our clubs, that's huge. We have collaborated with the Pritchard Committee, and so we are able to offer a variety of clubs now, from gardening to art to we have volleyball, so just a wide range of interests. And we were able to invite community members in to collaborate with us, like with the t-shirts, but also to at the very end we have a culminating activity. So one's the gardening club that they built a little birdhouse. The dance ones were fun because they had a lot of dads come in and learn a dance routine, and so it's a great way for our families and our community to come in and see what they've learned in the clubs.
And then our instructional part that we wanted to show you was OG and Kagan. The things about OG that we'll hit for you is that we've included phonics time in our master schedule, so that's different from last year. We're implementing it in Tier 1 and tiered instruction. We've been doing some OG walkthroughs. Some of our more veteran staff has targeted some of our very new staff to show support and go in. They've gone to watch them, and then our newer people have been able to go watch some of our more veteran teachers. We've also done some videoing, which has been helpful. Some of our more expert staff, we videoed so everyone could watch. And then in a recent faculty meeting, everybody in the building who does OG videoed themselves doing it, and we brought it in and we peer coached each other through some things. We actually had our OG expert come into all the schools the past 2 days. And she's been amazing, identifying some needs that we still have that we need to work on. So we were able to see her do some modeling in classrooms, and then we met after school in grade level pockets to have discussions. We're continuing on in our goal of improving OG instruction in our school. And then Kagan, we all love Kagan, and I love Kagan. I love OG too, but I love Kagan because it works for everybody. So we use it for staff just as much as we do for our students. We use it in faculty meetings. I use it in team leader meetings and instructional assistant meetings, PLCs. We use it all the time because as adults, we also need to have those skills of communication, of looking people in the eye when we're talking, of listening skills, of being able to summarize what someone is saying to someone else. Of just getting to know each other on a meaningful level, and it's really continued to impact our staff. So we have Kagan coaches who've done several rounds and gone into classrooms, and we've gathered evidence and used that to make new goals and to identify needs, and we make sure there are lesson plans, etc. But we love it, and the kids love it. The kids have specific things, structures that they really like, as well as some silly games that they love as well. So
Kagan's also added an additional component to our morning meetings because there is so much of a social emotional component to some of those structures that is giving our teachers some additional ideas and things that they can utilize in that 10 to 12 minute time frame that they have in the morning. So it's giving kids even more of an opportunity to socially interact and teachers to coach in the moment of what's appropriate or what's not. So it's added another piece to our morning meetings as well.
absolutely. Do you guys have any questions for us? I know that was a lot.
Do you all have POM mentors coming in with the
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
we do.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
No, I think you guys are doing an awesome job there. How's the new playground? Is it?
Oh,
We love it. The kids love it.
Slides in particular, that's a big hit.
Yes.
They love it.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
We have some videos from staff having some fun on the slides.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes.
Not those.
Hide those, he says. Well, do you all have any questions?
No. No,
Thank you.
sounds
Thank
great.
you guys so much. Thank you, Suki, for coming, and everyone else.
For our district spotlight, we're going to look at our gifted and talented program. So I'm going to turn it over to Michelle Kaysen, who is our gifted and talented coordinator and a teacher as well. So I'll turn it over to her this time.
Hello, we are a mighty department of two. I've brought Rachel Michael, the other gifted teacher, here with me. I've also brought Wyatt Bowens, who is a social studies teacher from RDC, to just speak about some of the things that are supporting him in the classroom this year, which helps support kids. So we currently serve 596 identified students K through 12. In one of several areas, creative and divergent thinking, general intellectual ability, leadership, language arts, math, science, social studies, visual art, dance, drama, and music. So the state of Kentucky identifies in a lot of areas, so that means between the two of us, we service all those areas that we can, with 596 students to hit as many as we can. I know that Rachel sees over 120 kids face-to-face. I see over 170 in a week. So we just do the best that we can. And we support teachers, which Owen will talk about here in just a second. That's kind of current program status where we are. We have been able to have expanded services this year. I was a team of one, and now we are a team of two. So we have some expanded services with some intentional services moving up into the 7th and 8th grade at RDC. So that has been very well received by teachers who have been asking for the help for years, and it was hard to get there. So now the two of us, we are. We also support teachers in the classroom in developing differentiated learning opportunities based on individual needs, interests, and abilities of kids. That benefits all kids in the classroom, not just the gifted kids in the classroom, and they will talk about that as well. Our focus this year, the third bullet there, is on a very specific thinking framework called depth and complexity, which those icons that are up there relate to each of the depth or complexity thinking skills that the kids are to focus on. It's truly just those icons that change thinking in the classroom. It's research based on Dr. Sandra Kaplan. It's kind of like if you see the McDonald's Golden Arches, you know what that means, right? If you see an icon, you know what that means. And what this teaches kids is that when you see these icons, it's creating a framework in their brain for how to think about things differently that they can apply to anything. So that's, in a nutshell, what depth and complexity is. So I will let them talk specifically about what that looks like in their classroom.
Well, this is Owen, Mr. Owens, and he's from RDC, and I've been working with him a lot with depth and complexity, and I asked him to share kind of what we'll be doing in this classroom.
Hi, Mr. Owens. And I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
First, thank you for asking me to be here. I'm honored, and I thought this would be a very exciting time to explain how well Ms. Michael has helped me in my classroom. So first off, I want to just dive into like the data from this with my quiz averages. So a little while back, earlier in the year, I taught the Declaration of Independence for a week. And within that lesson, within that week, I incorporated the depth and complexity icons with multiple assignments, multiple activities. With that, just diving into it, the quiz averages for my advanced courses were 85, or my bad, misspoke, 95, 87, 95, and 90%. And for my single traditional course, it was 87%. A week later, I gave a quiz over the American Revolution, the war itself, and I did not use any depth and complexity icons. And the quiz averages for my advanced were 88, 90, 88, 88. And then for my traditional, 80%. With this, this tells me, well, let me back up. The quiz that I gave the week after was a little bit more difficult, but in my opinion was not that much more difficult than the Declaration of Independence quiz. So that's important to note. But still, 4 out of 5 of my classes, it's a 7% difference. So these icons really are helping my students to think deeper with the content, which really ties into the standards inquiry. That's what we're trying to do over at RDC right now, trying to get them to think deeper. With this, my mentor, Mr. Johnny Mann, has, well, I've spoken to him about how he's been helping me, and he'd like for me to sit down with him and show him how I've been using these, and teach him a little bit of how to incorporate these for his classes as well. A couple examples of how I've used these. First, I incorporated these into a DBQ over the Declaration of Independence. I combined it with a critical reading strategy called Saying You Matter that our ELA department is now incorporating. It's new this year. Ms. Jan Horn, I work closely with her, and she brought this to me. We have the same students because of our program. So it was easy to incorporate that into social studies. And the way I used the icons was that out of the Saying You Matters, I just presented like one icon. These icons give the students enough guidance to where they can dig through that document themselves and look for a specific sentence to break down and critically analyze. Another way I've incorporated this, at the end of my week-long lesson of the Declaration of Independence, I incorporated these hexagons, and I brought some artifacts that my students created. If you'd like to see those, if you have any questions about that. But what they had to do, each hexagon had an icon, and they would have to pass it around the table and write something that relates to that icon. So I combined this with Kagan round robin, continuous round robin, and after they completed the hexagons, they had to connect them and logically explain like what they wrote next. So I brought up pictures of those as well. And the next day I gave them the quiz. And so with this, they had to talk about it, critically analyze what they know after I gave them the tools, and they performed very, very well. One other point I would like to make though is that, well, because I'm a first-year teacher, I have a lot that I am working on in terms of developing my own curriculum, offering to my team however I can, and then everything else that comes with learning how to be a teacher. So with this, Ms. Michael actually made a self-independent research project for my students that I've been wanting to make but didn't have the time to. They've been working on it since mid-November. We talked about it a little bit more today, but pretty much they take a primary source, in this case, the painting of Washington Crossing, Delaware, and they use the icons to ask themselves questions. So it starts out as like supporting questions, smaller questions, and they build their way up to a research question. Now with the standards, they have to create their own supporting and compelling questions, so this ties up directly with that. And then from there, they just do what interests them about the actual source. So like each student has something else to present, has something unique to present. So they're engaged because they're finding what interests them with this project. With this single project, they are building research skills, critical thinking skills, annotation skills, writing skills, and they're gaining experience with digital tools because I'm giving the option to make a podcast or anything. So with that, my students would not be working on this and developing those skills without Ms. Mitchell, or Michael, I misspoke, Ms. Michael, and I could not be more grateful. But that's all I have. I did bring examples and artifacts, so if anyone does have any questions, I would love to show you these and sit down with you. But thank you for your time.
I'd like to ask a question.
Yes.
At the open house you all had, they had developed a colony. Is that just your regular class, or was that the like they developed a colony and one of them had like a Minecraft world that they were showing me? Is that the kids are in the regular class, or are they in this cohort?
I gave that creative project to my advanced students and also to my traditional students.
Okay.
That's separate from this, but
Okay.
with that though, I will say like the main issue with that is that while I was getting into my advanced students, not the traditional, but also keep them on track and to help them dig a little bit deeper, I gave it to them as well, but that also set me off track with other social studies teachers at my level. With this project, they are independently diving into a primary source.
Okay.
On their own, so I am on track with the rest of my team now because of that. So, but yes, that was before this. But yeah.
I was questioning my own knowledge of history because they were talking about a colony in Louisiana, and in my mind I was like, there wasn't a but then I was questioning myself because maybe there was. It was that was just impressive in and of itself, and what you're discussing is for this age group, for them to have those critical thinking skills, that definitely will help them as they get older. So that's exciting.
Thank you. I student taught the high school under Miss Carrie Reeder.
Okay.
She teaches AP, US, and dual credit now. And so like I'm speaking with her about how to build skills that they need to work on in high school, and I think that is a crucial skill that they need to build at this age. So, but thank you for that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So are you 7th or 8th grade?
8th grade.
Okay. I have a child heading your way. Make sure you grab him, because this is so right up his alley.
Can't wait to meet him.
Yes, and I see you every day. I'm glad to meet you, because I see you out there doing traffic every day when I pick him up, and I'm like, is that, at first I'm not gonna lie, is that a kid? And then, so I asked my son, he's like, I don't know him. And so this whole time I've been wondering. So it was very nice to meet you.
Thank you. I will say, it was funny because after I got the job, I started moving stuff in my classroom, and one of the janitors, I had my family visit me, and I was just in my regular clothes, not like a tie or anything, right? It's over the summer. And she stopped, she goes like, honey, I thought you were one of them. Like, I was like, oh,
Yes, enjoy that. But
It doesn't last.
no, when I first started on the board, they tried to put me on a bus. And they've not tried to do it since. But that was so exciting to me because they were like, oh, you missed your bus? I said, no, I'm just here watching buses. So yes, enjoy it.
Thank you.
But yes, it's very nice to meet you and great job.
Appreciate it. Great to meet you as well.
That's really all I brought, was to showcase them the things that we're doing with Gifted. So are there other questions that you have? Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Dora, for taking over for me. I was at an awesome concert at RDC. I don't know if Dustin was able to tell you all.
I did at the very beginning.
Yes, you all missed a great show. They did a great Christmas program. It was amazing. Chorus, orchestra, and the band. Great concert. They did a job well done. So, we are where, Miss Dora?
We're on student support services. We're on number 1 with Ms. Fithen to talk about resolutions therapy practice,
Okay.
MOU.
All right. Consider approval of an MOU with resolutions therapy practice and CCPS.
I've asked Allison Nelson, who is our MTSS specialist, to give us some background on this MOU.
Hi there, sorry, I'm gonna get choked up as I walk up here. Good evening. So yes, this is a request to accept and approve an MOU with Resolutions Therapy Practice, who is out of Fayette County. They offer therapeutic services to individuals and would like to be a part of those that offer services within our school community. So this MOA would allow them to come and provide school-based therapeutic services to our students throughout the course of their school day. Again, one of our big initiatives and efforts is to reduce those barriers and increase access to care. So this would align with that initiative. In addition to therapeutic services, Resolutions also offers targeted case management, which can help families with basic needs such as housing and food. It can assist with medical needs. It can assist with educational needs. So there are a variety of comprehensive wraparound services that targeted case management care can provide.
Which is something that's needed, just from, I'm part of the community, we don't have a lot of targeted case managers around, so it's definitely a needed service.
Yes, yeah. I would be excited for them to be able to offer that to our families.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Not, would anybody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the MOU with Resolutions Therapy Practice.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0. Also, Mr. Dorsey had asked me to relay he has a bad virus. That is where he is at tonight, so
Well,
I hope he gets well soon. So that's why we're 4-0 instead of 5 tonight.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you guys.
you.
Thank you so much.
Consider approval of job description and salary scale for Director of Early Learning, Dr. Parrish.
Yes, so we are seeking your approval for a new job title and job description called Director of Early Learning. We hope that this position streamlines and enhances the oversight of our ever-evolving and expanding daycare, preschool programs, and aftercare programs. And we just feel like by centralizing it under one director, our district can be a leader for early childhood education.
Any questions, comments? I think this is, I talked to Mr. Howard about this, and he said it's a great thing, so I think it'll really help. So I will make the motion to approve.
Well, I want to ask
go
Dr.
ahead.
Parrish a question. Is this going to start in the second semester, or when would this position become?
So our plan would be to start it in the second semester. If approved, we would go ahead and post it and start.
Okay, so it hasn't been posted, or?
It is not, no ma'am. We had to get your approval first.
Yeah.
Okay. And as far as the salary, I know we did a lot of work on salaries. You feel like that you were able to get the salary where you felt like it needed to be?
We did. We streamlined it with the other director positions.
Okay. All right. And you did a lot of work on those salaries over the past year, so this was easily just inserted in. Okay. All right.
Very good. Oh, now I make a motion to approve the job description and salary scale for Director of Early Learning.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you all.
Consider approval of wide area network fiber lease agreement. Mr. Kaysen. So when you say wide area, does this wide area come to my area?
No, unfortunately not.
Daggone it, Justin. I had high hopes.
It's still pretty wide though. It's just not that wide. So this is something I presented 3 years ago. Wide area network fiber lease. It's something that's required for us to have, and WAN stands for wide area network. It's the internet fiber connections that connect each of our schools and buildings back to our core, which is at Campbell Junior High. 3 years ago, you all approved a 3-year lease that ends on July 1st of 2025. The approval process can be pretty lengthy. It starts with things that happened before this, and then your all's approval, and then it goes to KDE and their facilities commissions there, and then it comes back to us for some installation and configuration. So it's a pretty lengthy process, so that's why I want to bring this here during December. And this year we had 3 bids submitted, and each one had some various pricing structures and various bandwidth opportunities, or options, I should say, which was something I wrote into the RFP, so we weren't stuck by just one proposal from each vendor. With the team, I scored them like I always do, and we came up with a winning bid. And so my recommendation, and I don't know how much you all read through the 3 bids. I know they were pretty lengthy, but my recommendation was for Spectrum's 10 gig EP LAN bid for 36 months. This would cost $9,800 a month, but after E-rate discount, we should get 90% E-rate discount for the next 5 years. The monthly cost would only be $2,600 a month, which is less than what we actually pay now. And we would be getting basically the same amount of speed and bandwidth, which we don't really approach ever reaching for a less price, because what's happened is Spectrum now offers twice that 20 gig circuit, but we don't need that much. So they've lowered their price for their 10 gig circuit. So we'd actually be paying less than what we do now for the fast internet that we have. The reason I chose Spectrum, or the reason I'm recommending Spectrum, is it's one of the best vendor partners that I've worked with as far as large companies are concerned. You think about companies like T-Mobile, AT&T, Google, Microsoft. I've worked with all those so far in my time as CIO. Spectrum is, if not the best, one of the best. They're super reliable, their network's super fast, they prioritize educational traffic. In fact, they go so fast that we had them working to bring internet to the new preschool and the new maintenance department. And about a month ago, we actually had to cancel the project because they were so far ahead. Like, we had to tell them to slow down because we're already ready to have everything in place. So we've reopened that up now as the preschool and maintenance are coming to a close, but that just kind of gives you an example that they're the trust that I have in them for this. Plus, we currently have our fiber lease with Spectrum, so there would be the least amount of new infrastructure going into place. And the reason I chose the reason I'm recommending a 36-month lease, because they did offer a 60-month or 5-year lease, is if we did encounter a situation where we would want a different type of plan from them, it would be, obviously, if we were locked into a 5-year lease, we wouldn't have that much flexibility at a quicker time. And a few times that we've had incidents where there's been internet outages because of Spectrum, the support and service is very fast. So all that being said, that's my recommendation, is I'm asking you to approve an EP LAN fiber lease with Spectrum at 10 gigs for 36 months.
You said it was already in use. That's what we have there?
Yeah.
The Spectrum?
Yes, yeah, the fiber connection going from each of our schools and the bus garage and central office and preschool and Spot Road, yeah, they all We all use Spectrum. We also have a separate circuit we use specifically for athletic events that we also go through Spectrum. So
Okay.
not everything we do with Spectrum is E-rate eligible, but a lot of it is.
Can you explain why Concrete, I don't understand why Concrete's not a part, is it's not a part of this project?
We decided not to give internet to Concrete next year.
The phone's gonna be ringing in the morning.
That's a
Thank you for that. We'll send them all to you too. We're gonna turn it off and not listen to the rest of it, so.
Sports not so here.
Yeah, she's not.
That's I like to tell that joke whenever I can. No, it's one of the, we own our own fiber line that goes from Justice to Concrete.
Okay.
And so we're not required to pay any lease on that. We just own it because it's such a short line.
So they're able to get the internet from Justice?
Yeah.
Ah,
Piggyback.
that's what I was wondering.
Yep, they piggyback on that.
So then, this maintenance department, is what's behind Concrete, the new
Yes.
building?
Yep.
So you had it to run a line to that one,
Spectrum has run a line
run the line, okay.
from the pole out on Mount Sterling Road into the facility.
Gotcha.
They just need to keep coming on out. Tell Justin, tell him come on out.
Okay, we'll annex your house onto a school after.
Yeah, there you go. I'm good with it.
It's gonna work.
Some of us are just sitting out there with no internet. It's a sad world. It is.
And Alicia's not here, but she does budget into this, roughly this amount into monthly internet every year, so I'm not asking anything above and beyond, it's just our normal internet budget. But because leases require board approval, that's why I brought it before you all.
And the other ones that you looked at, were they more expensive or just didn't make sense to go with them?
Pardon?
The other ones that you looked at, were they just not, did you just feel like they weren't what we needed?
They weren't what we needed right now, they
Right
just
now?
scored a little bit lower on the scoring matrix.
Okay.
So we're gonna be saving over $1,000 a month. That's pretty good.
Saving $1,000 a month.
On the bill. Right, is that what, our current bill is approximately $39 a month?
Oh, yeah, yes.
And we're going down
Yes.
about $1,300.
That,
Saving money.
Yeah, it won't be that much of a savings because this plan doesn't include that separate circuit I talked about, so we'll have to add on that, and that's not E-rate eligible.
I didn't get Justin, you just ruined it. I was all excited to be saving money.
You are saving money.
Should just left it there and then brought the other back. And been like, remember when you saved money? Anybody else have any questions?
No.
For Mr. Cason?
It's pretty well explained, I think.
Yeah. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve?
I will make a motion to approve the contract with Spectrum.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
Second.
second by Ms. Simpkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. Consider approval of the revised 2024-2025 Clark County preschool calendar. Mr. King.
Good evening.
Evening.
This, just an amendment of the calendar that was previously approved, moving teacher work dates from January to February. The 13th, 14th, and 15th was initially work days. Now there'll be, students will be in session with the preschool work days down to February for the move.
Anybody have any questions? It's exciting, we have a move day. All right. Anybody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the revised 24-25 Clark County preschool calendar.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Oh, you're still up here, Mr. King. Consider approval of the 2025-2026 Clark County preschool, Clark County preschool calendar revision.
This is just also
Oh, yeah.
to, you approved this, the amendment of the 25-26 student calendar last month, I believe. This is just including the preschool in that, where we moved opening day to that Friday. So just making it align with the calendar, other calendar that's already approved.
Any other questions? Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the 25-26 Clark County preschool calendar revision.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Ms. Jenkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 4-0. Consider approval of 2025-2026 Phoenix Academy calendar revision.
Same, just making it aligned with the student calendar, moving opening day to that Friday, also for Phoenix Academy calendar.
Any other questions? Or anybody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the 25-26 Phoenix Academy calendar revision.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. King.
Oh, this is fun. Consider approval, here comes Brandon. Consider approval of change order 16 to add heating model to existing lobby air handling unit to MP Kelly Construction. Golly, Brandon. For the Cardinal Innovation Center project in the amount of $5,890.07. That's a lot.
I'm gonna let Mr. Brookshire speak to this.
Sure. So this was an existing unit that was in the building. Upon demolition of the ceiling and digging into that unit, it was discovered that unit didn't actually have heat in it to begin with and would have left the restrooms without heat in the building, which is obviously an issue and a problem because the other heat source was taken out of the building as part of the project. So this is to add a heating element into that existing HVAC unit to make sure we have adequate heat in the restrooms.
It's very important.
That's why it's on there, even though it's not that
Cold
low.
bathroom. Any questions for Mr. Watkins or Mr. Brookshire?
We'll make a motion to approve the change order 16.
Motion by Mr. Bennett. I'll second.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Consider approval of change order 17 to demo old hallway unit heaters to MP Kelly Construction for the Cardinal Innovation Center project in the amount of $1,974.80.
So these other three items, these next three items were things that were not in the original scope that we have had them add in because we were trying to be conservative in the beginning, see where we ended up as far as changes and money spent. We have the ability now to add on just a couple small things to that really needed to be done with the project. This first one, there was two, one on each end of that main hallway, old hallway heating units that did not function anymore. And so we had them go in and remove them, remove the electrical connections and all of that stuff. With that, there had to be some, touching up of the walls and the floors and things like that, so. Any questions?
No. Anybody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve change order 17.
Motion by Ms. Hall,
Second.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Consider approval of change order 19 to remove and replace door frame 15.1 to MP Kelly Construction for the Cardinal Innovation Center renovation project in the amount of $1,916.25.
Again, same thing, wasn't on the initial scope. It really needs to be done, so we have the ability to do that and go ahead and add that in and get it knocked out.
Where is it? Like which door?
Is an exterior door on the rear side of the building, and as Brandon said, we were trying to be conservative and not include that, but when it came down to it and we started investigating, that frame was in really bad shape with rust and it was out of proportion and out of kilter, and so we could not actually get a new door leaf installed in that frame, and so the whole frame needed to be removed and reinstalled as a new frame.
Is it in the part of like the parts that we renovated or in the part that is going to be like an old bay? That
No, it is in the part that was renovated.
Renovated,
Yes.
okay.
Any other questions? Not, would anybody like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve change order 19.
Motion by Ms. Hall, I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Consider approval of change order 20 for removal of flooring in office and hall area to MP Kelly Construction for the Cardinal Innovation Center renovation project in the amount of $5,996.10.
So there was a couple areas that, again, was not included in the original scope that the flooring needed to be replaced. The front office area was one. There was another small office area in one of the back classrooms was another, and it needed to be done. So that's what this is. Anything you want to add on that?
I think you covered it well.
Any questions? Are we close to moving it? When are we set to move in there?
So I think Mr. Howard is going to
my
give
office
some
asked
dates
that.
in his superintendent report.
We'll let the suspense
I don't want to take his thunder.
Okay, we won't. We'll just wait.
Yeah, we'll be patient.
I'm super pumped.
Very soon, very soon.
Okay, so would anybody like to make a motion to consider approval of change order 20? I'll make that motion.
All right, I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Consider approval of audio enhancement proposal for Clark County Cardinal Innovation Center in the amount of $97,738.99.
All right, so I'm gonna have Mr. Kaysen come up. He did a lot of the legwork on this, kind of researching this product and investigating it, visiting a neighboring district that has implemented it in some of their schools. And so I'll let him give the information. I'll also add that the contractor, MP Kelly, will be done at the end of this month with everything on the Phoenix Cardinal Innovation Center.
Is that like a hint?
That's just a little hint.
Okay. See, he's building the suspense for you, Dustin. Get ready. Get pumped.
We got the fireworks ready.
On the way up, as part of this presentation, there's like a 1-minute promo video that I was going to hit now before I walk up there.
Okay.
How Safe System works. A teacher microphone is not just a microphone, it is also a discrete personal arrest button for Safe System. A safe alert is sent by pressing and holding the buttons on each side of the teacher microphone for 3 seconds. That notification is then sent from the microphone to the receiver in the classroom. The receiver immediately transmits the alert to the front office, where a visual and audible alert will be displayed and heard through the EPIC system console. The campus map will be displayed on the console, indicating the location with the date and time from which the alert was sent. When the alert has been acknowledged by the front office, lights on the receiver will let the teacher know that the alert has been acknowledged and help is on the way. EPIC system also features an event engine that can be programmed to generate and send SMS, text, and email notifications to all relevant personnel once an alert has been sent. The message can contain the date, time, and location of the alert, and a link to view the campus map.
So, like Mr. Watkins said, this is something I visited one district on a couple times. I met with the vendors several times on this. Essentially, it's called audio enhancement, but it's more than just audio. It enhances. There's 4 parts to it, and the proposal before you is to purchase 3 of those parts for Phoenix Academy to begin with, and then potentially as part of a long-term facilities plan to add on to other schools with tweaks as needed. There's 3 parts to it that we are looking to purchase. The first one is called the SAFE system. It's what that 1-minute video was. Essentially, teachers, SAFE system stands for Signal Alert for Education. Teachers in Phoenix Academy would have a pendant that hangs around their neck, and they hold the 2 side buttons for 3 seconds, and it sends an alert to a head-end system in the office, and they could either send this alert by holding down the buttons on the pendant. There's also a button on a control panel in the wall in the classrooms in this new renovated Phoenix. So instances where they might need this is, incidents of fighting, weapon detection, unauthorized personnel in the school, a medical emergency. Like the video showed, not only does it alert people in the office, but it can be set up to send a text to principal, SRO, whoever needs to know in that emergency type situation. And the school district that I went and toured twice is Bourbon County. They're in the process of having it done district-wide. I think they're about 70% completed. So I toured obviously one of the schools where it's completed, and we did a sample, we were in one of the classrooms, set off the detector on the pendant, and then we went up to the main office, and there is a loud, as loud as the loudest alarm clock you can imagine going off, and it will continue to go off until somebody manually acknowledges that there is an incident. There's a big red button you have to click that says acknowledge. And at this head-end system in the office, there's a map of your school. You make it as detailed as you want, room numbers, teacher, class name, whoever, tells exactly where the alert came from, so the people that need to get there can get where they need to go. This is obviously an invaluable tool to help keep students safe, which is why we were thinking about this long term. So that's part one, is the SAFE system. Yeah.
I got a question for you on that. Does it keep a record of, like, say you hit your button and you're responding? Does it keep a record of how long it took for him to hit the stop button?
I believe so, but it logs every event.
Okay.
So yeah, there is a log on that. That's a good question. And I'll pre-apologize ahead of time. I probably don't know as much about this as I do about the WAN fiber. So, but I'll certainly do my best here. The second part of this is just called the audio system. So this is that same teacher pendant. It also, as the teacher is speaking, teaching the class, it connects to a receiver on the wall, and that receiver then is wired into 4 overhead speakers, brand new speakers, crystal clear, and no more having to use a teacher voice to be heard, or students in the back missing out or losing instruction time. It's more inclusive for all students because it's more of an all-around sound. And again, when I toured it up at Bourbon County, it sounds like digital sound. It's very clear quality sound. And there are some of the main, your typical classroom size classes. There's going to be 4 speakers there, and then in 3 of the rooms, 3 of our bigger rooms at Phoenix, there's actually going to be 8 speakers in there, so we should have no problem filling the room size. I know in the past, way back when I would go to do some tech stuff at Hannah McClure, they were pretty innovative, and they had like the wireless mics, right? And it would connect to just a little amp, like a little speaker in the corner. And if you were far away from that speaker, it really didn't do that much difference. So this is a much better version of that. And then the third system is called the EPIC system, and that stands for Education Paging and Intercom System. So it's essentially digital network-based paging and intercom PA system. So you think about all the aging systems we have now that have been up in the ceiling tiles for decades and decades, and some of them don't go to the rooms very well, or crackly and staticky, and some don't work. This would fix that. And it would also make it, I thought it was kind of cool. Like you could set up, so this might not be the case at Phoenix because it's so small, but at some of our other schools, you could set up bell schedules for different grades. Like if the principals wanted to set up their schedules so that different classes could leave at different times, like set up bell schedules. You don't have to just have the ding, 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 right? You can make any song come out of your, when it's time to switch classes. That was pretty cool. And you can do all calls, or you can just call into specific rooms. And back to the SAFE system, that also comes with a 2-way system. So the person at the head end of the office can ask, is everything okay, or what do we need to do? And 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 again, just, it's all done through the little microphone around the teacher's neck. But anyway, so yeah, digital bell schedule, there's signage, there's little like 24-inch display boards that hang in the hallways and in each classroom. And lastly, there's one of the things that one of the principals I talked to said from one of the other districts said is really handy is they don't have to be at the walkie-talkie, whatever you call it, where you speak into. Like you can just be sitting there. You can leave a message, a paging, an intercom from a web browser on your laptop or from an app on your phone, and you can pre-record it so the principal knows that she's going to be gone when at dismissal at 3:30. Excuse me, Tiffany, because she's right back there. But maybe she has to be in a meeting at 3:30, right? So she can pre-record it sometime earlier in the day and say, "I'm really proud of the way you guys, acted at assembly. Don't forget we have so-and-so tomorrow," and she can set that to go and to set that to go at 3:30, even if she's not physically in the building at 3:30. And like I said, it's been installed district by Bourbon County and I believe Fayette County. I want to say Jefferson County too, only because I was watching their how-to videos, and I think Marty Polio, the superintendent, was on the video, so I doubt that he would be on the video if he wasn't. They didn't have it at Jefferson County.
They have it in Oldham County, they have it in Northern Kentucky. I actually met with the vendor at one of the conferences I was at, and I was super impressed. Just where it is now, and then also some things that are coming down the road that we'll be able to utilize, even with some translation stuff down the road, so the kids can hear their own language no matter what. As we're looking and planning forward down the road, providing world-class services to our kids. So, thank you, Mr. Jason.
I think one of the flexible things, as Justin mentioned, is you could put specific areas on a different schedule because they have speakers in that room. And it could be these rooms are on this schedule, which would allow principals, if 7th grade was on one schedule, 8th grade was on a different schedule, you could program those rooms. So it had some cool features. As you know, the ATC that is being renovated, the old ATC that is becoming Cardinal Innovation Center, is an old building. It had an old PA system. So we were going to have to put a PA system in it anyway. This fills that need. We've done very well financially with conservatively budgeting, not spending all the contingency. So we have the ability to go ahead and try this now. And like I said, we did a lot of research on it to make sure that we knew what we were getting. We also added it in our district facility plan, something that we would like to grow this into our other buildings because we think it would be very beneficial for our students.
Go ahead. Where it says software licensing and we pay the $10,000 and then the training, if we put it in other schools, do we have to pay that every school, or is that?
I believe the licensing is a one-time cost, which is really good as far as licensing. I made sure to get with the vendor on that. You just pay one time, you don't pay it again. We wouldn't need the training again, but I believe because it's new equipment, we would need the.
Right, so that almost $17,000, when you gotta put it in other schools, gonna come off of that.
Yeah, I would think so. There might be more. There might be more in the training than just one-to-one training. There might be something I'm not thinking of, but no, you would think that would be a big price reduction.
Yeah, I mean, is that the end goal, is you wanna have this in all the buildings?
If they can do what it says it does, and that's where I want to put it in a building and put it in teachers' hands, because I don't ever want to have a huge expenditure and not have teachers test it and give us feedback and principals, but that would be the long-term vision, yes ma'am. Which is why I'm also working with the local planning committee and the DFP process to go ahead and build it in as an option for there, so that way it wouldn't necessarily be an expenditure from Fund 1. When we got to that point, you could actually finance it out because it's on the plan. So looking at creative ways so that you're not, and again, I don't want you to, so I talked to Dr. Larry Joe Bagley, who's the superintendent over Bourbon County, and that's the exact plan that they kind of went through. And so instead of taking a hit of $2.5 million to get it in every building in their district, they're able to kind of span that out and bond it out. And we've had kind of those conversations on that committee too.
And did you say, like, if I have a child that speaks a different language, this will help translate with
So-
that as well?
So that was my conversation I had yesterday to these particular individuals, and they are assuring me that we can be able to provide that. So if you had an English speaker next to a French speaker or Guatemalan speaker, or and again, Central Kentucky is getting is a hub for immigrants and migrants and refugees, frankly, and it's just going to be a matter of time. And instead of having one interpreter for one student, this will allow us to real-time translate for them so they can hearing it in their native language.
Okay. Sorry.
I was just wanting to clarify which fund this would come out of, the money, the 96.
It would come out of general fund. Alicia and I talked about it, and she would pay for it out of the residuals from the preschool.
So the residuals from the building portion of the preschool that we haven't spent?
Right. And I'm not a finance officer, but when I'll try to explain it, when we bond that money, we pull it out and we invest it, and then we make our payments on the preschool. So while it's being invested, we earn some residuals on that, which has helped be able to do a lot of this renovation work at the Cardinal Innovation Center.
Right. Just want to make sure that the public understands that we're just not magically pulling out 90, because it's $97,738.99. But it seems like it's a good investment up front, and then in the future, it might not, like the high school, it would probably be a little more. That maybe, when you're doing that strategic planning on which schools you go to. So even I don't know.
No, that's a great point, and
Yeah.
because we are being frugal with money, but we also want to provide services for kids, and because we're very good with the money from preschool, we're able to spend that money and not necessarily taxpayer money on things like this.
Right. And I will say that the youth that benefit from the Phoenix Academy, they will have a much better place than they had in the past, because Vault Road, before it was renovated, wasn't the best. You could hear through walls. I would go do therapy and you could hear everything going on. So this will be a whole new world for them.
They're excited. The kids are excited.
Yeah, I'm sure the teachers too.
And again, we want
Yeah.
the Cardinal Innovation Center to live up to its name. And
Right.
this is something innovative that they're going to have access to first before anyone else. And to your point, that's not always happening.
Right. And this building's been there, I don't even know when it was, I know it was there when I was in high school, so that was a few years ago. But it has been there, but I'm glad that we're able to renew it. I haven't seen it since I took the tour when they drew the plans up, so I can't wait to get in there to see it. So, and we have room to grow there too, it was a very good investment up front.
Well, and just to have a little context, initially on our district facility plan was to build a new alternative school / Phoenix Academy. But the local planning committee, came back together and decided that doing a renovation was a smarter route to go. And we have a great property and great building here that with some love and attention and bringing it into, up to date and making it a very innovative place, our students can have a first-class experience here. We can add some pathways, some CTE pathways for them, and really provide them more than what the initial new building was on the plan for. So I think it's a huge win all the way around, and we're super excited for it.
And then to your point, the new building was going to cost $9 million. We're going to get everything done and some bells and whistles for about $2 or less.
Yes.
I love the thought of getting this in the high school and the middle school because of that bell system of getting kids out of the hallway at different times is like a game changer for them.
Well, and I think not to go too far off topic, but I think on the DFP, and one of our big needs in the district will be a roof renovation for Campbell. And so this is something that when we do a BG and do a roof renovation at Campbell, we can add something like this, and it would really go hand in hand.
With the scope of the work.
With the scope of the work, correct.
Yeah. I mean, that part alone, just the bell system of having different grades out in the hallway, instead of having them all when that bell goes off at one time. I love it.
Ms. Smith's smiling back there, so.
I can get down with that for sure.
Yes, I'm with you. Okay, so anybody else have any questions or want to make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Hall. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 4-0. Thank you all. All right. Acknowledgement of the monthly CCPS financial update. Ms. Ellis.
So Miss Ellis is not feeling well, so you are gonna get Mr. Howard, Dustin.
All right.
So we wanna pull up kind of our monthly slideshow. Really, this is just our December meeting, but it's a review of the November status. On slide 1, we don't have a whole lot of change in receipts, which is good. And expenditures are just up, but it's just 2%. And really, it's not more money, it's just 2% up from spending the $70 million that we had last year. We're at 19 million, so we're just keeping an eye on that, but I'm comfortable where it is with just being 2% up. The next slide, this just compares years to date. So when you see the YTD, that's year to date, general tax, property taxes, compared to last year, we were only at 75% collection, we're already at 81. So that change of 6% is actually a good change. It means we're getting, again, I hate to keep bragging on the sheriff's department, but they do a really good job, and all of our community partners on getting the property taxes in and done, even the PVA and some folks, they do a good job with it. So, because I've just come back from 2 conferences, I'm kind of giving my preview. Not every superintendent is this lucky. A lot of times they're sitting not good at all with tax collection. So again, I just want to brag on our community partners. Franchise tax collection was last year at this time 3%. We're already at 10, getting up 7%. Same thing with motor vehicle. We're collecting more faster, up 3%. And then with total tax collections, we're ahead of last year, which is again another good, solid place to be. Other things that you are on consent or review, again, we've got reports, the balance sheet, monthly financial, and the reconciled cash, taxes, motor vehicles, did 31%, and then the sheriff's report, they've collected 61% from the sheriff's office. Then we got accounts payable, Fifth Third, card balance, or receipts, and then salaries. And then booster agreements, and then fundraisers and surpluses are also on the consent items, just so you guys are aware. And then we go to my favorite slide, boom. And I dropped my pencil, how'd I do?
I think you did great. I mean, I've looked through all of it, it all looked like people take care of what they need to. Miss Ellis always does a really good job.
We'll send her get well feelings, so we pay some more bills this week.
Yeah.
Authorize payments of salaries and accounts payable.
Make a motion to pay the bills, please.
Motion by Ms. Hall.
Second.
Second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Consider approval of 2025-2026 board organizational meeting on January 7th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
My only discussion, I've had some people ask why we do our meetings at 6:30.
Because that's when everybody can usually get here. Ben has to come from Lexington.
And the one thing I'll say, once we set the initial organizational meeting, whatever time you guys want to set it, the board has the option during that meeting to then change or move times. We do have a couple new board members coming on, so that will actually be one of the line item conversations just to kind of, people are looking, when are we gonna meet next year? We won't know officially until the new board has this meeting and sets those dates and times.
Are they saying it needs to be earlier or later?
Or,
Oh.
and since Ben's not here, I think we should just leave it the way it is.
Yep, I got you. So you want to make a motion for that?
Yeah, I'll need to. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve that organizational meeting on January the 7th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m.
Motion by Ms. Hall. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Update of KSBA conference. I think Ms. Hall was gonna.
Just a quick overview, myself, Mr. Dorsey, Ms. Rowland.
Good job.
And Mr. Howard, Ms. Thomas, and Mr. Kaiser went. Mr. Kaiser and Ms. Thomas were able to, when you go to the Winter Symposium, you can take like the beginning classes and it counts towards 2025, and they were there and they were able to get a lot of good information. We had our first fire drill at the Gold House. That was amazing. That's
not the first.
Well, first time for me. And I happened to have been napping in the lobby, so it was very scary to wake up to that, but it was all good, all good. And we had a really great speaker that first morning, and I actually bought the book. I'll have to let Miss Nelson, I don't know if Miss Nelson might not be here, let her look at it and see what she thinks, but it's about providing mental health in the schools. But overall, it was a good.
She also acknowledged me, and then the announcer, the speaker.
Yes.
Made me tell my name to the entire group. So
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Let her know that, you know, Mr. Howard is indeed a psychologist, and that's important to have that background as a superintendent, because you have an understanding. And there was a legislative update, but they didn't really tell us anything necessarily. I didn't really hear anything new. So, and I guess we'll have our new board members in January, and they might want to share something here. But I think we had good, we were able to do some networking and all that. Saw vendors, lots of vendors that our school system uses. They always appreciate us talking to them. So.
And what's next year's?
Oh no. What is next year's thing?
Something to greatness, because I was like, oh, they copied Dustin.
Something, do you remember?
The theme for next year?
No, I meant to grab my book before I came in here. I was telling her it's in my truck.
It's something to greatness is what it is.
So, yeah,
Well, I mean, everybody's stealing it. We got it on the post-it notes already, so it's official. We own Growing Greatness and Greatness in General, hashtag and all their above. Go Cards.
Look at you learning hashtag. You've been on the Tiki Talk.
No, I haven't tried that yet. We're getting ready to ban that. I didn't get that update.
Yeah. But that is all. I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to share, Mr. Howard, since you were there too.
I just reiterate, it's always good to, and I think it's a unique opportunity where we got to take 3 board members that will be returning, but also start building relationships with 2 new board members and start having those conversations. Not in breaking any open meeting laws or anything like that, but just kind of bonding and really letting me to define that we do things that are good for kids, and that is our North Star. And again, I think the vendors are always great in getting information and coming back. And then wise man told me, if you learn everything in the world at a conference, you probably didn't learn much going in. So I can't say we learned a ton, but you're really just trying to find little things that you can pluck and then strategically place, so you don't accidentally throw grenades at everything and then throw out your structure. So I think that's kind of our vision coming back. Got a lot of people bragging on Clark County. When the second conference I went to was only for superintendents, and folks are talking about Clark County in a good way, very good way.
All right, are you ready?
I am. Oh, here we go. We got the hype music ready. No, okay. I'll do without the hype music.
Just make your own.
Go. I feel like now I got Eye of the Tiger in my head. That's pretty good. All right, so a couple dates I want to share with the with the board. The Cardinal Innovation Center. The ribbon cutting has been set for January the 10th. First day for students is going to be January the 13th. We did allow 1 week post holiday break to make sure we had everything ready to go so that those kids walk into pristine awesomeness of greatness. I want their greatness on there somewhere. So,
Do you have
we
a
will-
time for that ribbon cutting?
so the ribbon cutting, 11 a.m.
Okay.
So we tried to schedule it around lunch, and that way we could get kind of more people there. And then the preschool. Oh, here we go. See, I know we got some. So we've got some official dates, and Mr. Watkins will help me with times. It didn't make my Post-it note. Parent open house and ribbon cutting will be February the 18th. I believe that's at
6, right, Jim? 6 o'clock.
6 p.m.
Oh, just make sure PM, not AM, right?
PM.
Okay.
The first day of kids will be February the 20th. There we go. So we hope that not only our current board members and our new board members, but everybody can be at those dates, because I know a lot of work has gone into those. So I want to make sure that, again, we celebrate opening up 2 wonderful, wonderful buildings. And again, I just want to thank the board for their time and patience on getting this thing going. So
What time do they come to school, at preschool now?
7 a.m.
7 a.m.? Okay. Whew. That like they're getting off the bus at 7 a.m.?
Yep, buses and cars at 7 a.m.
That is really early.
It is.
the other thing that I wanted to kind of touch on is just, I just wanted to thank, we do have 2 board members that this will be their last meeting. And if they could, the board and I have got you some plaques and certificate and some appreciation stuff, which we'll present to you guys. But I just wanted to say, just so the entirety of our community understands, they don't get paid that much. They sure don't get paid for the amount of work, time, effort, not only during the meetings, because a lot of times the public just sees, however long they're here, they're checking emails, they're taking calls. A lot of our board members take many classes reviewing information that's uploaded for them. So it's not like they get here and we're covering things for the first time. We upload every document, every agreement, every MOA, every dollar cent in the budget, and they study that for a week so that they're prepared and they're coming into a board meeting, and if they have questions, they're prepared to answer it. But if not, and not a lot of people know that. They just assume they come in here, man, they're voting. No, they study, they spend a whole lot of time on getting ready for these things. And the other thing they do, they have to fool with me and all my updates. My 1 a.m. phone calls when the police have called me and something terrible's happened, or my 4:30 texts about whether we're going to school the next day, or something terrible's happened and the police have called me. And they're actively engaged in the process, and probably the biggest compliment I could give Mr. Billy Bennett and Ms. Jenkins Simpkins is they're in it for the right reasons. They love our kids. I haven't had to deal with any agendas or anything like that. They truly want Clark County Public Schools to be wonderful and our kids to have better than what they had when they were coming through here. And it just means the world to me that you guys have put the time in. So thank you. I appreciate it. I don't know if anybody else wants to say anything, but I did want to make sure we recognize you guys. And I guess everything to add, or I probably gave a little sermon there. I apologize. I get excited. Again,
Thank you all.
briefing
Yes,
the
thank you
farmer,
very
so-
much.
All right, thanks.
It's been fun.
There you go, sir.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Right here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, well, I don't know.
No, thank you.
Okay, there's a,
You and the no picture thing.
Wow.
I have bunches of pictures of her I can share.
that's all I have, unless you guys have questions. Thank you. Can we give them a round of applause?
Okay. On that note, we we will do the consent agenda. Would somebody like to make a motion for those items?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead, Billy.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Bennett,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Simpkins. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. All right, one of y'all have to make the motion to adjourn.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Simpkins,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Bennett. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. We are adjourned at 8 o'clock on the dot.
Okay, just a minute.